Yesterday things took a turn downhill. So hi all. So this is the last video of the rebuild of my MX-5, which I said I would do. So the engine went back in 2 weeks ago on Thursday. I've now been doing some miles in it. I think I've done 370 kilometers. Last Saturday I took the braking oil out and put some 1040 fully synthetic oil in it. I'm still not decided whether or not I'm going to go back up to 1050. I think I am. I think I'm going to do this trip to France, and then I think I'm going to go back up to 1050 and just put a heavier weight in there. I'm going to do a bit more reading and some research in some oils, but I'm just still not sure whether or not to keep it with the 1050 or stick at the 1040. But anyway, that's the job for another day. So a breakdown list on the bits that I did. So the end result was the crank was damaged, bearings were damaged, the rods I changed but didn't need changing, but I put Manley rods in it, and I've redone the piston rings just because why not. So I had all the crank, so the crank pulley, crank, flywheel and clutch pressure plate sent off and balanced. I had the rods balanced. I weighed the pistons at home and everything else, and that was all on point. So hopefully when I do take the RPMs higher, it will be a bit smoother, because as I say, I'm pretty certain that this damage came from the engine losing its oil about 3 years ago. And when it did that, when I got up into higher RPMs, it had this weird vibration which always made me want to come off like the accelerator, which it never did before, but we'll see. So I'm literally, so this is Friday the 10th. I'm actually going to France tomorrow, and I'm going to do a whole other video on it. So yeah, fingers crossed, hopefully it works. So hope you enjoyed this little video on me repairing the car and putting the engine back in, and I'm now going to go and do a road trip and see if it makes it to France and back. I hope it does, because it's going to be expensive if it doesn't. So right, morning everyone. Today's Saturday and we're currently driving to France. So I've been driving in France now for about an hour. There's a few things I was just checking on the car to make sure everything was alright. It's possible that I got one little niggle, but I should be able to sort that out. It's a misfire when lifted off, but I'm not sure where that's come from. But anyway, the weather's nice. Gerald's asleep, and we're heading to Honfleur. A short trip. Just going to go there for the day, sleep, and then head back tomorrow. It's looking pretty nice out there. I've only put the engine in literally 2 weeks ago, so I'm also just, you know, I am going up in the rev range, but I'm not putting my foot down really. I'll wait till I'm back in the UK for that, after this run, which would have run it in. So I think there's a tunnel coming up soon. I'll have a bit of fun through there. be in Honfleur in probably about, I don't know, 10 minutes. I don't know the name of this bridge. It's in Normandy. But the sun's out. It's been a good run so far, so let's see what the rest of the day takes us. Right, so made it to Honfleur, made it to the Ibis where we've stayed before. I'll make this quick because I think the battery's going to go, so I need to charge it. Yeah, I think it all went good. I pretty much sat at 90 all the way here, went through the tolls. Hope you enjoyed the little montage of the video coming in. Car, there's no leaks. Well, I haven't looked underneath yet, but I'm pretty certain there isn't anything dripping. I was checking it. No. Temperatures stay fine, so I think all in all it's okay. I mean, I did put my foot down a little bit at one point, but nothing all the way. So me and the wife are now going to go into Honfleur in town, go and get some wine, some food, and then have something to eat. So yeah, tomorrow I'm planning on maybe going to Normandy in the morning, so we'll just have to see how the car performs. I think been a good test for it though. There's not gonna lie, there was a few moments where I sort of was a bit worried about things because I don't know why it did it, but it's sort of like as if the rev counter cut out. It may have, I didn't lose sync with the ECU, but I'm going to try just moving my crank position sensor just a smidge in. But other than that, it was alright. So yeah, I'm going to go and have enjoy the rest of my day, and I'm down here waiting for the wife to come. So we're parked up. I managed to just get behind the hotel. Oh, what I might talk about actually is the reason why I've done this trip, and there's many reasons why. My New Year's resolution this year was to do more car stuff and everything else, and everything COVID got in the way of all that, and you know, it's affected everyone. But I had multiple tickets booked on the Eurotunnel to do stuff, and I've already keep shunting them across. And I thought, no, do you know what? It's been a busy week, busy year, everything's been shunted up, and I thought, sod it, I'll just go to France for the day. And it's a trip that I've done with some friends quite a few times. Honfleur isn't that far away from Calais. It literally took me like 2 hours, 2 and a bit hours or something like that, 2.5 hours. And it's something that I know, and it's just a fun day out. The driving's just at that point where it's fun to drive, but you're not driving all day. The town is a really nice town. I'll take the camera and I'll do a few shots. And I just thought, sod it, you know, I'm double vaccinated. That's why you know, if you got vaccinated, it's so you could get out and do stuff. The paperwork's been quite trying, but as what I thought, you've got to fill all this paperwork out, but it's still quite blasé in terms of how it's all checked. You know, going across the border from the Eurotunnel to the France passport control, there was no scanning of the COVID vaccination pass. He just wanted to see it and didn't even pay much attention to it, so it could have been anything. Yeah, so there's some paperwork to fill out for it all. I've done all that, complied with everything, so we got here okay. It'll just be to see whether or not we get home alright, but 50% of the journey done. Right, let's go to Honfleur. Alright, so we're just coming to the harbour of Honfleur. There's Cheryl. And you sort of greeted with these two lovely. What's that woman's name, Jane? Do you think Jane McDonald's on there? I'm showing my age now. So we're going to continue around walking. Honfleur is, we're going to continue down there, and I'll put it back on when we get to the harbour.
C'est la famille Oblin qui a donné le nom primitif de cette rue qui monte vers la Charrière de Grasse. Mentionné en fin du XVIe siècle, il disparaît avec la fondation.
We're in the middle of the town. Come on, that square's down there. Hey? Oh, alright, well anyway, this gives you a shot of what Honfleur, the town centre's like. We're going to be heading down that way in a minute. So, me and Cheryl have just been at the harbour, just had something to eat. She had, what did you have to eat, Cheryl? She had a saucepan of mussels. So we're going to continue looking around the shops for a little while, aren't we? Cheryl? Are we continuing to look around the shops for a little while? Right. See how that goes. So this is like, I think, in like the centre of the town. I think there might be a wedding going on down there or something. But I think we're going to eat here tonight somewhere. So we're going to go and find somewhere to eat, book a table, then continue looking around. It is a very nice place. There's a polar bear there as well. Today's video was going to be me probably getting up, doing some driving stuff, going to Normandy and focusing more on some shots of the car. But yesterday things took a turn downhill. So we had a lovely afternoon in Honfleur. We had some wine, had some food, went shopping. We then went back to the hotel and we were getting ready to go out for a meal in the evening. We saw a couple of places that we're going to go back to and eat. I then wanted to finish off my outward journey pass on the Channel Tunnel, and the only thing I hadn't done was load the COVID tests up. Everything else was done. My passenger locator form, second test, everything else was all done. And I made a bit of a boo-boo. So last Sunday I was reading what was required late at night in bed, and I read this twice, and I don't really know how I made this mistake, but people that are close to me that will know that this is something that I do sometimes. I read that to gain access just back to the UK, it was a PCR test or a lateral flow test. But I think, being the fact that I was tired, what I took as a lateral flow test and what I was meant that you could do as a lateral flow test was an NHS lateral flow test. But in brackets, it does quite clearly state that you can't use an NHS lateral flow test. So when I tried to upload this documentation to the Eurotunnel, it came back with failed wrong test. And this happened at, I think, about 7 o'clock last night, like France time. So as you can imagine, everything just went, like, my heart went into overdrive. I felt sick. My wife, she was pretty chilled out about it, really. So hats off to her for being really good about it. But it now meant that we didn't have our outward journey documentation complete, and it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday night in France. Nothing opens up on a Sunday, and we just started panicking. So quickly went down to reception and asked if there was any chemists. I think at this point it was probably about 6:57 or something like that, because there was a chemist in Honfleur and it shut at 7 o'clock. So a pharmacy. So we were then we were screwed there. We were waiting at reception for about half an hour or 35 minutes. At which point I then thought it would be a good idea to see of like the nearest big places and towns around. Which one was, I think, was it Rouen that we went to? Where that pharmacy was? Was it Rouen? You sure it was Rouen?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And literally that normally takes an hour and a half to get to. And we were in Honfleur. That's what the woman told me anyway. And it was something like 57 miles. And I said, right, let's go. So there was a pharmacy that was opened at 8 to 8:30 in Rouen. And I think we started driving at about 20 to 8. And the sat-nav was saying we would get there at 8:35. So bear in mind, we would have had to park up and get everywhere. So I knew the only way of getting any chance of getting a test would be to get to this pharmacy at 8:20, like minimum or something like that. So we head off. We did 57 miles. I was driving at, a constant sort of speed, a bit above the speed limit. We managed to pick these tests up, but then the guy was like, I don't think these are the ones that you want, but they were tests. We drove back to Honfleur, made it back. What time did we get back to Honfleur? I think it was about, was it 10:30? 10. We went to the steakhouse, the American diner opposite the hotel. We weren't going to eat there, but that was the only place we knew we could get something to eat. I had some ribs, that was nice. And then realised that what we'd just gone out and bought was the only option we had to go buy, still wasn't going to do what we needed to do. So this morning we got up early, came back to the tunnel, and luckily there's a backup plan there. So if you haven't got your COVID test, there's a test centre literally 5 minutes away. We've done that and everything's all good now. So, but today's filming has been just a smidgenly interrupted by COVID again. It is my fault. I had everything else in place and in check. Everything all was in green before we went, but it was only the COVID test I didn't do beforehand, and I could have done it, but I thought I'd do it in France. But it was my mistake. I misread that you could use an NHS lateral flow test, but the actual wording was you can't use an NHS lateral flow test. So, we paid for some tests this morning. So now we're on the train, we're coming back, and I might just try and do a bit of filming just coming back into the UK, but yeah, sorry about that, but that's the way it goes really. It was a good Saturday though. I don't think my wife thinks it was, but I enjoyed it. It had everything that you could want from an enjoyable day from all spectrums of emotion. Do you want to say anything? She's just like nodding her head. No. Okay, alright, well, we're on the train, we're going back to the UK. I'm going to see if I can do some filming shots and we'll see where it goes. Alright. So we're coming back in the UK now. Coming back sort of like Romney Marsh way. Just following a G-Wagon. I think this is as exciting as this driving back in the UK is going to get. I can't see any of the roads opening up for me to be doing anything, so I think I'm going to sign off from this video. It was well, I don't know, yeah, that's it really. It was a memorable trip. So next weekend we've got the national rally, so we'll be doing some more videos on that. Watch our weekly vlog videos, subscribe, like, tell a friends, it all helps us out.